I love Civivi. I love Civivi. I think Civivi is a great knife company. If you're looking for a budget knife, Civivi is the way to go. Their brother or sister company is We Knives, I believe. It's just they're both the same, in my opinion. Some people can argue that and say that no, We Knives are better than Civivi, and some other people will say, oh, no, Civivi is better than We, their prices and their quality, whatever. I really like Civivi knives. If you're on a budget and you want something that's decent for the price, Civivi is the way to go. But this is the first karambit from Civivi that I'm actually familiar with. I've seen others, but I've never had my hand on one before. Now that I have my hand on this, I very much like this. So let's get into it, everybody. Let's talk blades. That's what we're into today, is freaking Civivi. And yes, it is the Incisor 2. Did I say that right? Gray aluminum handle, satin finish, Nitro V blade. This is the very first karambit for me in Nitro V. I really like Nitro V. I think that it's a good steel. It really is. At least in my opinion, anyways. I really do like Nitro V. Corrosion resistant, stuff like that. It's really good. So what you get your silica pack and your plastic sleeve that goes on this thing. It's nothing too crazy. You get your typical, very generic Civivi, very generic Civivi zip-up case. You get your stickers, you get your warranty information, and you get your advertisement. You get your microfiber cloth that's in this very interesting green color that is neon, but also kind of alien vomit. And you have your... I don't know why I thought I saw something there. And you have your knife. The knife itself, which I gotta tell you, it's very light compared to what I'm used to in normal karambits. Now, you guys know how I am. I'm more of like a show and tell type thing. I give you guys my personal thoughts and opinions, and I go into the meat and potatoes of the other stuff. Which, I gotta tell you right now, carrying this thing is a dream. It is very, very, very light to me. I'm used to carrying much heavier karambits, even if they are just folders. The aluminum on this thing makes this knife very aerodynamic in the pocket. This thing is so light, I even forget it's there. It has a deep carry pocket clip, which can be switched from right to left. No, you cannot switch it to tip down. That's not how this thing is designed to be carried. But because of that deep carry, you see less handle, and then the only thing that comes up is literally just the ring. It is solid to me. It feels very solid. There's no weak points anywhere that I can feel. You got a flipper tab here, you got a button lock here, you got a wave opener here that you can actually swap from side to side if that matters at all. You have jimping on the back spine of the blade. You also have this oval opening here. Sorry, I just bumped the camera, the tripod, excuse me. And of course you got I think it's like a 2-inch blade. Either way, this thing is a very, very sharp knife. You see that little red dot right there? I stabbed myself with this knife when I was digging in my pocket for my wallet. It's very fall shutty too. If you haven't seen that, look at that. That is some smooth action right there. I very much like this. This looks, it has a lot of edge to it. It's got a lot of angles to it, but it does, even though it looks the way it does, it's actually quite ergonomic in my opinion. Holding this in my hand, putting my finger through the ring, it feels very good in the hand. It feels like it is molded to at least my hand anyways. It's very nice, and it does work very well. It's not really aggressive as it is just very beautiful in its design. I really do like it. When I first saw it, I thought it was a little strange at first, but you got to get this thing in the hand in order to realize how much more it is. In opinion wise, it's really nice. Really, really nice. So you get the jimping obviously on your flipper tab here, It's just very subtle, but it works. This is very, very nice to me. In my opinion, it's very smooth opening and closing this knife. The wave feature works very well. The only bad part about this knife, when you have it in your pocket, at least in my right hand pocket, it pushes the knife more like a J. Okay, so instead of being like this in the pocket, it's more of like that in the pocket. So this wave feature works. As you deploy it from the pocket, it catches onto the lip of the pocket and it pops it open, ready for you to use. Now, with that comes some bad sides. When I put my hand in my pocket, and with it being so aggressively pushed in this direction, when I put my hand in my pocket to go and grab my wallet, I can sometimes hit this thing and it'll pop the blade open, which is what ended up happening. I put my hand in my pocket and it popped it open, and my hand, if I flip it over, it actually got caught. My skin got caught on the tip right there, and it actually dug into, so I actually felt a pretty decent chunk of that tip into my hand. And it doesn't take much. It doesn't. This thing is very sharp. It doesn't take much for me to actually put my hand in there, feel that I got stabbed, and I pulled out instantly. It just, look at my hand, I'm bleeding. I'm like, oh man. So be very careful when carrying karambit, especially with something that pushes the handle more towards keeping it more curved, towards the hand. And I know some people will say, well, this needs a dedicated pocket. It's not big. This is not a big karambit where it needs its own dedicated pocket for deployment. Now, I have karambits that are big and that are used to just having their own pocket, but this thing is small. It's very, very compact. Okay, it's not a very big knife. So to see this thing to have its own pocket's a little bit ridiculous for me. But I have my wallet in the same pocket as this. That's all I had. It wasn't like keys or change or anything like that. It was just the knife and my minimalist wallet that was right there. So they had space from each other. It's a pretty wide pocket, front pocket. So when I went to go and pull it out, I gotta tell you, this just, it popped this thing open. Does it happen all the time? Absolutely not. It was only once, but that's all it takes for you to realize, like, you know what, I think I just need to be more aware, be more careful. But anyways, there are no markings on the blade, although if you look right there at the base, you see Nitro V stamped there, which is really nice, but nothing else. No text of any kind. You got your Civivi C on the pivot, which is really strange that every time that I touch the button lock right here, I feel like the pivot kind of loosens ever so slightly, just a hair, not like a huge amount, but I kind of feel that difference in there. You got your 3 little vent holes right here. I don't know if that's more for design or functionality. Don't ask, I have no idea, but it does feel good forward and reverse grip on this knife, and I gotta tell you, carrying this thing is a breeze. It is so nice. I love carrying this knife. I really, really do. But like I said, this is more, a karambit is more for a fighting knife. Not really something I would EDC personally, just for everyday tasks. I think this is more for just if you're going to be in a sketchy neighborhood and you just want a little bit of confidence in your pocket, this will do it. Especially if you know how to use it, it's even better. So I'm going to see the weight here. You got 3.29 ounces of just awesome in your pocket. That means it's really light. And guys, I like my 5-ounce knives. This isn't bad. It's not bad. This is actually quite light for what you get and what you're going to carry. So the blade itself, you are looking at 2 3/4. Yeah, about 2 3/4, maybe 2 3/8. In between 2 3/4. No, 2 1/4, 2 3/8. Not even 2.5 inches. Well, you do have 2.5 inches of reach. So yeah, it's a small blade, but it's effective. All right. Have I used this on anything? Yeah, I kind of stabbed a couple of boxes just to see, how the tip would work. and it's like a needle. This thing is it's pretty aggressive, but it works. It works really well. My only fear of this knife is I think the pocket clip. I tend to hang up a lot on Civivi pocket clips, but this is not a very aggressive lip that goes up like all the way. It only goes up a little bit. But sometimes Civivi has these pocket clips that seem a little weaker than most and kind of just throws me for a loop. I kind of don't like that, but at the same time, this feels okay. This feels pretty sturdy. It's not weak. Yeah, it doesn't feel weak to me. I actually had to put a little pressure in there just to get it going. But this is a good knife. Very light, EDCable. If you really do want to EDC a karambit, then why not? It has a very nice, confident click in its locked position. Unlocking the knife is fall shut, but I feel like my finger's on the back side of the pivot right here, and it literally does feel a little strange whenever, and it could just be the vibration of the blade, you know, clicking down. It could be that. I'm not entirely sure, but I can tell you that this is a great knife. This is a very, very great knife. I have to be. I think the only thing is it doesn't really look. It doesn't really look to me like it doesn't look ergonomic to me. When I look at it, it looks kind of ugly. When I first saw it, I wasn't really drawn to it. But getting it in hand, it actually does feel good. It feels great in hand. It feels like everything fits in place as if it was molded to you. At least that's how it is with my hands anyways. I've carried it a couple times. I've even showed it to a few friends, and they've all said the same thing. Wow, that's really nice. That's a nice karambit. Don't you have one something like it? Like, I do, yeah. There's a Fox karambit that's very similar with the gray handle scales that are made of aluminum. Oops, sorry. I just bumped the tripod. I tend to do that a lot, don't I? I need to stop that. This is not a Fox, okay? But it kind of reminds me of it does kind of remind me of a Fox 599 version. Not the 579. The 579 is much bigger, but the 599 is a little bit more, it's smaller, it's more compact. It kind of reminds me of that. Because of the wave feature, it functions the way it's supposed to. The only difference is that Fox doesn't do deep carry pocket clips, which they should. I don't know if you guys want that. I want that. I want to see a Fox karambit with a deep carry pocket clip, damn it. I think that'd be nice. But this isn't bad. I really, really like Civivi's lineup for their karambits so far. I think I want to, if I can, I'm going to try and get my hands on the first incisor instead of the incisor 2. I want to get the incisor 1 instead. Also, you know, get that in there. This comes in different flavors. Okay, so you got this one in this color. You also got one that's a black blade, if I can recall correctly. And I think there's also one other color for this. So I'm not entirely sure. But I think I got this one. This one's Blade HQ also? I think it was Blade HQ. I think I've seen some on Amazon as well. But you know, thing that I've noticed, this is going to be off topic, but why is it that I feel that every time I buy a knife from Amazon, I get a lemon? Do you guys get that too? I get that. Anytime I just, not completely, but I feel like I'm getting secondary market knives from Amazon instead of like a decent knife that doesn't have any issues with it. Because anytime I get a knife from Amazon, from any company, it seems to have some sort of flaw to it that, to me, doesn't seem to really make it to the final sales floor. Am I crazy to think that? Because I do feel that way. I think I've gotten the last few knives I've gotten seem to have like these slight little imperfections that make it like the blade's slightly tipped, or there might be a little dent in the cutting edge, or something. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's just me. Am I going crazy? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm overanalyzing what I get from Amazon. But I've noticed that certain knives feel like secondary sale. You know what I got? I don't know if I'm making sense to you guys. But anyway, back to what we're talking about with this. This is one of the reasons why I just go to Blade HQ for my blades now, for my knives. I just feel like it's more confident, and I'm not saying that they're perfect. You know, I'll pay for next day shipping, and I have to wait 2 or 3 days before I get that so-called next day shipping. Not to mention the fact that I think there was one time I actually got a knife that really wasn't supposed to be sold to me, and it was in lower quality than I expected it to. But their customer service was really great. I sent it to them. They just sent me a replacement, and it was perfect. So can't really have too many bad things to say about, you know, nothing's perfect. Every company runs differently, right? This is a great knife. This is a lot of fun to just open and close. It's very lightweight. It carries like a breeze in the pocket. It's got a very shiny blade, at least in this style right here. And it's nice and sharp. Yes, this thing is very sharp. Stabbed myself, it bit me. So yeah, I can tell you, it's sharp. I felt it. If you guys like Civivi knives, and you guys like karambits, and you guys like lightweight deep carry knives with a wave opener, and that's the thing too, you can remove this wave if you don't want it. See that little screw right there? You just take this thing off if you don't want that. And I love that this has an option for that, because not everybody likes the wave feature. I've talked to a couple of buddies of mine, and they say the wave feature seems a little bit overkill for a knife, and it does. But say that you only have the wave feature because you know that maybe your other hand's going to be busy. Maybe you're carrying something. Maybe you're trying to hold something down. You want to cut something. That wave feature comes in handy when you just want to get that knife open and ready to use. You know, or in a self-defense manner, you want to get to your knife, you want to get to your self-defense item quick enough and have it deployed fast enough because, you know, your life is on the line. Then the wave feature is very effective in those aspects. But I do believe that the wave feature doesn't necessarily need to be needed on every knife, but it is a nice thing to have. I remember there was a time, my first karambit that I ever got was a Smith & Wesson. It never had a wave feature. It just had a big old hole that you just pop open. It was a little oval hole, but you popped it open. And it wasn't in a configuration where it sits in the pocket like this. It sat in the pocket more or less like this, tip down. And I hated that because when I pull it out, I'd have to configure it, flip it around, you know, and then use the hole. I'd kind of finagle one of my fingers in place and then pop it open like so, and then hold on to it. It was just a weird, but I enjoyed it. It was a cheap $25 knife that I got at Big Five years and years ago, and we've evolved since then. We have made a karambit knife that is lightweight, deep carry, effective, and it has a wave feature on it that deploys fast to put it ready in the hand to be used as it is designed to be used. That's a really awesome thing. We've come a long way, you know, and coming from a company with good prices, this is a must for anybody who's looking for one but doesn't want to pay that, you know, teeth gritting price tag that a lot of people are like, I want a Fox, but If you want a Fox knife but you don't want to spend Fox knife prices, this is a great way to start right here. Is this a Fox knife? No. But it's nice, and it works, and it's not that expensive. If you want to know the price tag on this, I think it was a little over $100. So yeah, it's not really exactly cheap, but it's better than spending money on a Fox. Fox karambits are around about $200-300 if you really wanted to go down the route, or just a little bit over 100 if you go on Amazon. It'd be like 150, so for 150, 160, something like that. It's 120. You do Amazon if you want to. I don't know, man. Anyways, I kind of ranted enough about this. Get you one. Civivi Incisor 2. So go ahead and slash that like button, stab that subscribe, slice that bell icon so you guys are notified anytime I post new things in these craziest of times. Everybody, please be kind, be safe, and carry responsibly. I'll see you all awesome people in the next video.